Welcome back to Tatarigoroshi. So where we last left off, according to the Ministry of Health and Welfare and all that stuff, um, for what I remember, I was still debating whether her uncle, Satoko's uncle, sexually abused her. So I don't know. Let's find out. I think we're on like chapter 8 of Tatarigoroshi so far. The die of fate had been cast. Reporting to a public agency, which we'd kept being warned could instead result in something far worse for Satoko if we didn't have the evidence first. And just like that. Had I failed, had I let my emotions get the better of me in that moment, maybe I should have stayed silent and left everything to Mion, since she had been relatively calm. I remembered the punishment game where we had to badmouth Curry, and now me saying anything would have made it worse, and Satoko told us to leave the talking to her. Maybe it was the same thing here. I was impulsive, so maybe I should have just shut up and looked at the floor. But it was too late to lament it. The day, the day, the die I had thrown wouldn't be coming back into my hands. All we could do was pray for something good to happen. Keiji-kun, you did everything you could, so leave it to the teachers now, okay? Everything I could? If I really gave it everything I had, if I had really struggled, I would have dragged Satoko out of her home last night and hidden her in some abandoned house. I didn't, so that means I didn't do everything I could. Stop thinking about it, alright? You're being a little too persistent, Keiji-kun. At this rate, you'll collapse. Just leave me alone. I left her with those words and stared lazily up at the ceiling. Keep hearing birds. Every time I usually record shit. I wondered if I really got Chie Sensei to understand. Would the public agency intervene and solve everything within the day? Would they acknowledge the abuse and guarantee her safety? After lunch break, our afternoon classes were mostly self-study. The teacher came back to the classroom occasionally, but then the phone in the lounge would ring and she'd have a long conversation with the caller. Everyone in class got the feeling they knew what those phone calls were about. Sensei came trotting back from the classroom. I'm really sorry for all the phone calls recently. Let's call it a day. President, please lead the class. Everybody stand up. It looked to me like Sensei had been wearing a dark expression ever since after lunch break. It wasn't a very relieving expression. It wouldn't be, even if Sensei 100% understood the situation and passionately explained it to the other person. At the end, the Child Consultation Center, as a public agency, would be the ones to decide whether to get her to safety. Sensei understood that as well as us, and that's why she looks so unreliable right now. Hey-chan, let's go home. I don't think anyone feels like having the club today. Mi-chan, it's no fun if someone's not here. Reina was right. It was no fun for us if someone was missing. If the teacher's expression had shown more promise, then maybe we could have gone home more comfortably. But I couldn't let myself feel relieved. I couldn't be naive and tell myself all I can do is pray, now that the dice have been cast. Just in case they didn't get her to safety and decided to wait and see again, I need to take further measures. We've asked the people who could do something official already. Then there was one more place that was worth asking for help. She might laugh it off, or I might be right, and I could be endangering my own life. But I'd try. Oh, Mion, is it okay if I stop by your place today? You've got a lot of manga, right? I want to borrow a bunch of them. Huh? Sure, I guess. There was an ominous meaning behind my words, so Mion realized what I really meant right away. I wanted to talk about something alone. That's what I meant. Mi-chan, Keiji-kun, let's go home. Reina already had her shoes on and was waving to us from the schoolyard. Mion's house was gigantic in every way imaginable. The house itself was a vaguely old-fashioned traditional Japanese house, but the yard, I guess, or their plot of land, was enormous. It easily convinced me that they really were major landowners with Hanabizawa under their thumb. Oh, so this is Mion's house. Wow. Just like in the previous chapter where they wanted to visit Mion, but yeah, let's forget that. We'll save that for later. But I don't got chapter 5, god damn it. Anyway, Mion brought me through the guest room and the servant brought us some tea. Wow, you really are rich, huh? You've even got housekeepers? Grandma and I are the only ones who live here. I wouldn't be able to do everything myself. You know, I'm kind of surprised that, there is supposed to be like a storeroom or some odd shit going on. I'm able to do everything myself. The servant left, telling us it was 5 o'clock, then withdrew with soft footsteps. We have people come in to take care of Grandma and clean 2 or 3 times a week. They come in rotations of 3 or 4, so there's someone here almost every day. Only until evening, though. Oh, and if we're having a party or something where we need more help, we call up different people. If you had the money to hire all these people, then just take Satoko in. I glared at her as I thought that, and Mion seemed to catch on immediately. Oh, sorry. It's fine. I know it's not a money problem. Just to be clear, my family may be rich, but it's not money that I can use freely for myself, okay? I don't want you to misunderstand that. Kinda looked like I was bullying her. Mion had been apologizing to me a lot lately. Was Mion the sort of person who would do that this much? Maybe it's just that I've been looking so grim lately. Or better yet, you're just kind of desperate enough to save her. I mean, Satoko, of course. So, what's up? You have something to talk about, right? I have something pretty serious to discuss, Mion. This will be sudden and you might be surprised, but I want you to hear me out. Huh? What? Oh, I'll give you a way out first. Even if what I say is true, you don't need to admit it. You're allowed to play dumb, but I want you to listen until the end. I have something to say to the next leader of what's still the most important of the 3 families of Onikafuchi village, Mion Sarazaki. No words on that. At first, Mion looked like she had no idea what I was saying, but at hearing the whole sentence and putting it together, she reacted. Where did you hear that? It doesn't really matter. I definitely couldn't tell her who told me. Takano-san, you told me not to, but please forgive me. This was why I asked you about it. After all, I was surprised that you'd heard of Onikafuchi village, Kei-chan, but you seem to know a lot of things, both true and false, about me too. Yeah, true and false. I really might just have the wrong impression here, but I'm okay with that, so listen. And if it really is true, I don't know what you're getting at, Kei-chan, but let me say this beforehand. You've got a big misunderstanding, so if it were possible, I wouldn't want to hear what you're about to say, because even if you said it, I can't do anything to help you. Still, if talking about it will lighten your burden even a little, I'll listen. I'm only just going to listen. Nothing more will happen. Are you okay with that? Yeah. Mion seemed to know what kind of thing I'd be talking about. She warned me that doing so would be fruitless. That much was obvious. If what I was going to say was true, then the Sonozaki family would be the masterminds behind the string of freak deaths that have been occurring every year in Hinamizawa. You know that stuff about Oyashiro-sama's curse, right? Mion nodded a little. No one knows what it is or why it happens. Even if each incident is solved, the string of deaths and accidents as a whole is still a mystery. But there's one thing connecting them all, and that's how the targets are always enemies of the village. Seems like it. Mion spoke as if it didn't relate to her. That was fine. She didn't have to admit it. For now, I just wanted her to stay quiet and listen to me. The day after tomorrow, it's for Tanagashi, isn't it? Has the sacrifice for this year's curse been decided already? Mion didn't answer. Her expressions remained the same too. Like she said, she was just quietly listening. Sorry. The promise was that you just listen, so it's weird for me to ask a question, huh? Mion gave me a look she'd never given me before, a faraway look, a sympathetic one. She didn't nod, she just smiled faintly and listened to me. If this year's curse isn't going to be on Satoko's uncle, then please change it to him. I mean, last year it was your aunt, right? It's in the right order, so it wouldn't be weird. Ah ha ha ha. You're right, it seems like there is an order. I mean, after her aunt died to the curse last year, he abandoned Satoko fled into the town for a whole year. Why wouldn't a guy like that definitely be next on Oyashiro-sama's list? There shouldn't be any issue with choosing him for this year. I see. If he were to die from the curse this year, no one would see anything unusual about it. I heard that Oyashiro-sama's curse is, well, no matter how I looked at it, I wasn't sure whether I should continue. No matter how I tried, the words wouldn't come out. A string of freak deaths in Hinamizawa, also called Oyashiro-sama's curse. You're saying there are incidents perpetrated by the village, carried out by the three families of the Sonozaki's instructions? Is that it? I don't care one bit whether you have anything to do with it. I'm just saying, if you have any way of communicating with whoever decides the targets of the curse, then I just wanted you to tell them to choose Satoko's uncle. Please. Everything you've been saying has been terrible. If the freak death incidents in Hinamizawa were carried out by the will of the Sonozaki family, that would mean the main culprit would be me, wouldn't it? I would have chosen the target of the curse, given the instructions, killed many people, and gotten rid of others. You're calling me a murderer, Kei-chan. I didn't say that. Didn't you listen to me? I don't care whether you're the one behind the murders or not. I just don't. Even if you were the culprit, it doesn't change the fact that you're my friend. It doesn't matter at all. If the police were chasing you, I'd come to help. I'd make you an alibi and even help you escape. Because we're friends and comrades, aren't we? Mion looked surprised for a while. She was dumbfounded. Now you're declaring yourself complicit? Kei-chan, that's pretty bold of you. Come on, don't interrupt. Satoko's uncle. Choose him for... Stop right there, Kei-chan. I want to start on dinner soon, so I'd like to leave things at this. Mion! I then realized that my cheeks were wet with tears. They slid down my chin and fell, drip drop, to the tatami mat. It's like I said at the start. You've got a big misunderstanding. Oyashiro-sama's curse is just that, even if there were people behind those incidents, they don't have anything to do with the Sonozaki family, or me either. Right. I understand that, it's just... It was touching to hear such a desperate plea, Kei-chan, but that was all it was. Even if I wanted to help, I can't. You understand that too, right? Yeah. But now I know how you feel so well it hurts. If I really were, like you said, the one controlling the three families and choosing the sacrifices every year, I'd probably grant your wish. Mion! But the reality is different. I'm just Mion Sonozaki. My family may be the subject of all sorts of bad rumors about controlling Hinamizawa from the shadows, but we have nothing to do with the freak death incidents. We may have been a little extreme during the Dam War, but that's all. We would never do something so insane as to kill people. I don't really... how should I say this? I don't really think you're actually right on this one. Don't say such sad things. Right now, at least, I don't care. Why can't you just be nice and lie to me? Hey, Chan, you're free to believe what you like. If I lied to you now, you'd be convinced Satoko would be freed the night after tomorrow, and you'd be able to shed much of your burden. However, reality is harsh. Satoko's uncle will survive beyond that day. He'd still be alive next week, and the week after that. You need to prepare yourself for that. I don't want you coming to me the day after Watanagashi and demanding to know why he wasn't killed. Mion. Mion stood up closely and closed the sliding door to keep out the wind that had grown chilly. Was it Mio-san? Did she give you all those ideas? She really likes to misunderstand things about Hinamizawa. Well, you can let her have her fun, but I don't really want her influencing you, Kei-chan. Jeez, this is why outsiders are no good. Takano-san has nothing to do with it. Right, don't worry. Even though I know she told you about it, Kei-chan, nothing's going to happen. It's not like Mio-san will be chosen for this year's curse. Besides, we don't even know for sure if the curse will happen this year. Maybe it was all just a pile of unfortunate coincidences. Thanks for listening. If you aren't connected to the serial deaths at all, then that must have been an uncomfortable conversation. I'll apologize for it. I see. You'll apologize for it. Ha 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 ha. Oh god, I don't know what's so funny about it. Mian said she didn't have much time, but she still brought me to the gate. She said she had a meeting or something today about Sunday's Watanagashi festival, so there would be a lot of people from the town council and the festival committee coming. Despite her day being so busy, she still listened to what I had to say. If there's a God in heaven, then he probably understands how strongly you feel. I don't know how he'll think I feel. Yeah, I'm really sorry for being so weird today. You can pretend like this discussion never happened if you want. Okay, I'll forget about it. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. I had really only spent a short time with Mion. Well, it's pretty much short enough. It's only been like, what, 16 minutes in with the recording? Talking to her made me think. It was clear that what Takara-san told me, at least, wasn't a complete fabrication. If Mion was really, really unconnected to the incidents, then she probably wouldn't have listened to me so quietly. She heard me out until I was done without making any quips, and I wanted to think that was proof. I did kind of feel like I was grasping at straws. Of course, thinking back on it, it was a terrible thing to discuss. I mean, I went to my friend's house, called her a serial murderer, and then told her to kill Satoko's uncle. I was the only one talking that whole time. Well, way to go for you. Oh, gee, way to screw up the whole plan. Kind of a... Called her serial murder, and then told her to kill Satoko's uncle, blah blah blah, talking the whole time. Mion quietly listened to everything I had to say, like a pastor listening to a confession. Doesn't what I mostly do at times at a church? She could have gotten angry part way, though, told me off and to go wash my face in miso soup and come back later. I don't know how that will go, but she didn't. Was that proof that Mion's family, the Sonozaki, were the masterminds, or was she just listening because she felt sorry for me going kind of crazy? I didn't know which it was, but it was the one effort I could make at the moment. It was another form of assurance. Should worst come to worst, and the public agency decided to wait and see. It was a completely useless resistance, literally grasping at straws. Sensei said that if she reported to the Child Consultation Center, they'd have to respond on the same day. Could they already be in the middle of responding to it now? If Satoko came to school tomorrow morning all energetic, then everything would be just a needless fear. Why couldn't tomorrow come faster? That night was unusually hot and timid. Hot and humid, and I couldn't get to sleep. I said all that to Sensei. They couldn't possibly decide to wait and see again this year. Satoko, what was it like for her tonight? Had she tasted the end of her nightmare, enjoying the night of liberation? I actually put my hands together and prayed into my futon. Then next morning. Oh look, it's Reina. Good morning, Keiichi-kun. Morning. Thank goodness. I thought you overslept today too. Your mom said you'd gone on ahead yesterday and then you weren't at school. I was worried that you had gotten heat stroke halfway there. Last time I remember you didn't get any heat stroke. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah, I'm very sorry for all the worry I caused you yesterday. Hey, good morning. It's Mion, like the usual. Michan, good morning. Wow, you really stink of liquor. You'll get found out for sure. Alright, wasn't there a big business meeting with all the people on the town council yesterday? They only called it that. It was more like a party. We have this festival every year, right? we wouldn't have any annoying meetings at this point. Are you going to help out with the festival this afternoon then? Yep, I have to do a meet and greet with all sorts of people in Grandma's place. Besides, they already started setting up for the festival. Hmm, interesting. Our morning conversation was lighthearted as usual. It looked like Mion had thankfully forgotten about how I barged into her house yesterday with that crazy talk. The more I think back on it, I felt like I'd really said something terrible to her. I was really thoughtless, and wouldn't have been weird if she'd yelled at me. It was highly possible Takano-san had exaggerated her story. To think that our comrade and friend Mion, the young leader of the Sonozakis, one of the three families effectively controlling Kanamizawa, was pulling the strings behind the serial death incidents was a little unbelievable. But if there was even a 1% chance that it was true, then what I said yesterday to Mion might have been a success. Yes, it was no more than 1 in 100, but that little bit of effort might have brought the chances of saving Satoko up by even a tiny bit. At least I'd made that effort. After yesterday ended, I was sure I'd done everything I possibly could. If there was something else I could do, it was probably just to clap my hands and pray that Satoko's uncle would be killed by the curse. I hope Satoko makes it today. Me too. Sensei is doing things for her, right? I'm sure it'll be fine. My aunt is a welfare agent in the Hinamizawa district. I gave her a call last night. Huh? I didn't know your aunt was a welfare officer. What happened? Did you tell her about Satoko-chan? Yep. Chie-sensei called the child consultation center right after we talked to her. A child welfare officer apparently visited before the night was over. My aunt said that they were going to pay visits at regular intervals from now on. Enough with the dumb little stuff. I want to know what happened to Satoko. Did they get her safe? My aunt wasn't that informed about it. I was supposed to keep this a secret anyway. Her telling me was a big breach of ethics in the first place. Oh, come on. Damn, that makes me feel even worse. Exactly. Let's get to school. Right. Discussing this more would just make us feel worse. It was far quicker to go to school and see if Satoko was safe or not. The three of us nodded and ran off. Was Satoko safe? What measures had the child consultation center taken? I didn't care what, as long as we could go back to our peaceful life with Satoko today. It didn't matter to me. At the shoe racks at the entrance, Reina took a peek in Satoko's shoe cubby. Ah, Satoko's shoes are here. They're here. Kei-chan, Satoko came. Thank goodness. We don't know if anything happened just because she came to school. We can't know anything until we see her face. We trotted towards the classroom. The classroom was lively, as it usually was in the morning. Satoko, where are you? Meep, she's right here. It's too early in the morning to be so loud. Would you please keep it down a bit? Satoko-chan, are you okay? All of our friends crowd around Satoko excitedly. Our probation officer came, right? How did it go? Who was it that called them? I swear, it was quite a mess, you know. It was the teacher. You were absent for so long, of course, she was worried. Satoko said, I told you I'm fine, under her breath. She was still trying to overcome all the suffering on her own. It was a big bother to both me and my uncle. That person was just barged on in on us suddenly. Jeez. Everyone was worried about you, Satoko. Don't say it was a bother. Ah, jeez. Anyway, what happened? Nothing happened. Ho ho ho. My cold got better, so I came back to school, that's all. I can't take too much time off from now on because then you'll all worry about me. Ho ho ho. That was not a laughing matter, goddammit. What was Satoko saying? What happened to, well, your uncle? Oh, he admitted there were some misunderstandings and we both apologized. Tug. Rika-chan grabbed the back of my collar and pulled me away. What is it, Rika-chan? Rika-chan silently dragged me all the way into the hallway. Rika-chan, what did that mean? Satoko said nothing was happening and chased him away. That idiot! But why? No, somewhere in my mind I thought it might turn out like this. Satoko didn't ask for anyone's help. She didn't hide behind anyone. She was trying to ride out this pain. She wanted to show Satoshi proof that if he came back to them, she wouldn't need to hide behind him anymore. But Coach said probation officers can bring her to safety in an emergency even if it's against her wishes. However much Satoko denies the abuse, it's a fact. Chie-sensei finally came. Her expression was far from cheerful. Yes, you're right, my Barakun. If the child welfare officer determines that it's an emergency, they have the right to immediately take them to safety, regardless of the affected party's intent. Then why? Why is Satoko's intent being respected so much? It's weird. Why don't they put her into safety? Well, after the person in charge at the Child Consultation Center looked into it from many angles, they determined... What the hell is that? Sensei, didn't you say it was going to be alright since you definitely saved her? What's the meaning of this? This doesn't make any sense. Answer me, damn it. Keiichi, this is actually the third time someone has reported Satoko's child abuse. It happened twice in the past too. Fruit-san. Sensei tried to stop her, but Rika-chan went on speaking anyway. Twice before? I heard that they decided to wait and see after reporting it in the winter before last, but it happened before then too? Satoko's father who died wasn't her real father. What? Rika-chan, that's... what? I'm stunned at the sudden revelation. I had no idea what Rika-chan wanted to tell me, but it seemed really important, so I couldn't get a word in either. Satoko's mother remarried. She brought Satoko and Satoshi with her, so they weren't related by blood to their father. Satoshi was a good kid, one who listened politely to what adults told him. He immediately welcomed by their new father and was loved. But Satoko was different. She was rebellious, she told lies, she played pranks. Her stepfather didn't like her at all. What? So, what do you mean? Even before she was given to her uncle and his wife, Satoko didn't have a very good relationship with her family. Of course, her stepfather didn't have any malicious intent at the start. At first, he must have worked hard to get his new daughter to accept him. But the young Satoko didn't make any effort at all towards that end. She was distant towards her stepfather and never opened her heart to him even a little. She just got on his nerves all the time with seemingly forced lies and pranks. Her father's discipline and punishment must have been loving at first, of course, but that too faded quickly. I don't know because I wasn't in Hanamizawa at the time, but I learned this on the phone yesterday. What story did you hear, Sensei? That Satoko-chan wanted to trick her parents, especially her stepfather, so she inflicted wounds on herself so she could make up a false story about abuse, and that she sent out an SOS herself. She made up a story about hurting herself? Satoko made a fake phone call to try and get rid of the father she hated. Child welfare officers rushed there and heard the story. Her father genuinely apologized for a few times when he had gone too far, and agreed to let the Child Welfare Center give him coaching. Related agencies looked into it quite a bit. They determined that Satoko-chan and her stepfather's hearts not being quite matched up was the cause of the incident. But they found another problem above that with Satoko-chan. The problem with Satoko, what was it? Satoko's mother, there were a few times where she had lived with de facto husbands, though those relationships didn't result in remarriage. From a young age, Satoko had been forced to call at least 2 or 3 people her father. At some point, Satoko's pranks escalated. She would spill food on purpose, turn over her plate, and even throw it. She would break the windows in the neighborhood and shoplift candy. She would put thumbtacks everywhere and set other traps to seriously hurt people. Not in the way she did now, just to get laughs. She was also fond of telling lies that would be found out right away, and people got mad at her every time, but she never ever changed her behavior. Please don't think Satoko-chan was a problem child. Satoko-chan was young. It was an act of self-defense that she had to take against an unknown men her mother had chosen. In regards to Satoko's problematic behavior, child psychology experts from public institutions indicated her actions were to draw her mother's attention to herself. They acknowledged that she had a form of harmful emotional trauma and declared that she needed counseling and therapy from professionals. They didn't know whether that therapy had healed the wounds in her heart. Satoko-chan purposely hurt herself and told them that she was being abused by her stepfather in an attempt to chase him out. But in the end, her stepfather did abuse her, right? No, all the abuse had been made up by Satoko-chan. Her stepfather, of course, may have scolded her in a somewhat emotional way, but it was nothing out of the ordinary. Satoko had lied to chase away her stepfather, and they saw through her right away and found out that Satoko had issues. Oh, could it be that's why the winter before last they decided to wait and see? Yes, the Child Consultation Center had all their past records, so they needed to act carefully in case Satoko was lying. What the hell? So what? Satoko might be telling a lie, so they needed to be careful. So how does that mean they just end up waiting and seeing? It was the girl who cried wolf. That fable about telling a lie once, making others unwilling to believe you later. That's bullshit. The past has nothing to do with this, does it? Only what's really happening right now is important. Satoko is being abused by her uncle. Why is something that happened in the past getting in the way helping her now? Neither Sensei nor Rika-chan had anything to say to that. Anyway, yesterday a probation officer visited to carefully determine what was going on. And Satoko dealt with them, put on the best, strongest smile she could manage and denied the abuse. Of course, she was probably being threatened to keep quiet about it by her uncle. Satoko was trying to outlast everything without asking for help. Satoko wanted to wait for Satoshi to come back home, and she outright denied the truth of the abuse. What an idiot. What? You're not really enduring it. Do you really think pretending like this will actually bring Satoshi back? Stop it already. Satoshi, he abandoned you. And the fact that he hasn't shown up to save you now is proof, isn't it? So just stop it. Please stop being weird and pretending to endure it. Forget everything we just said. Understand? If you tell anyone else, your teacher will be very mad with you. Chie-sensei gave me a warning, then left to go back to the teacher's lounge. Keiichi, please don't think Satoko is a pathetic, pitiful girl. No, well, we got no words on that. She's living life. I know that. She's our irreplaceable friend. Satoko is still trying her best. Let's watch over her a little longer. The person from the consultation center said they'd visit periodically from now on. If something terrible happens, they'll help her right away. Yeah, but only after it happens. Any more than that would have sounded like I was picking a fight, so I firmly swallowed my next words and went back to the classroom. Mion and Reina were talking to Satoko like they always did. It was a silly conversation, a humorous, even fun one, like it wasn't any old day. If Satoko really said she could still endure it, then maybe I should do as Rika-chan said and watch over her. Maybe whatever help I offer will just go unwanted.
Ain't that something? And bell ringed. Oh gee. Okay, why don't we all have lunch? Meep. Ah ha ha ha. It's been a while since it's been all five of us. This really is how it has to be. Here, here. Come on, you two, Come on, you two, Kei-chan. Bring your desk over. Satoko brought her own desk over as well, grinning broadly. Even knowing nothing had been resolved, this exchange was pleasant and made me remember how fun it used to be. I can't have Rika making a bento for me forever. I don't mind. I have fun. I have fun making your bento. Rika-chan's such a good girl. Having such a good friend must be so reassuring. I put in the big steak, and Satoko puts in the burned stuff. So, it was just Satoko. It would be so sad. So very sad. Nipa. Oh gosh. I take it back. Well, she's Rika-chan, after all. Hey, come on, look. I've got omelet rice today. Mushrooms and stuff are delicious. Delicious. Oh. I say it every time, but your craftsmanship is splendid. You could become a wife whenever and not have a problem. A wife? A wife? Eating a wife? What? What the hell? Oh gosh. Using the word wife is totally forbidden around Reina. Please don't say it again. I'll think about what I've done. A little. By the way, what's in your lunch, Mion? It looks different again today. We're all waiting in anticipation. It's a rich assortment of side dishes left over from what my uncle brought last night. The stew looks really great, huh? The color of the radishes too. Really good, right? Wow, it looks delicious. Stew tastes best when it's left overnight. This looks like it would be really good. And so, there'll be none left for Satoko. I'll eat it all and tell you what I think, so just be quiet and watch. What was that? Hand over my portion too. Elbow punch. Headbutt. I'll use my knees too. Oria. Oh ho ho. At close range like this, my advantage is unwavering. Keiichi-san, the daikon in your portion tastes really good. Damn it. Coming right for me from the start and using a combo attack. How humiliating. This little exchange, how long had it been? It looked like they'd ended up going with the wait-and-see approach, but maybe her uncle had realized he'd gone a little too far and would dial it back now. If her treatment improved a little, would that be a good thing? Satoko was grinning wider than I'd ever seen as she chomped down on her mouthful of the daikon she'd plundered from me. Did it really taste that good? Satoko was somewhat cute like that, and just as I'd done many times, I grabbed her head and started petting it. Let's see. Well, this is a good time for me to end it here. So, next part.
Well, let's see how this'll go.
For, I don't know, let's say catch. So, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys later. Have a good one.